place, looking for the same thing, just a better life, and a life with more opportunities, and that's what I hope to give each and every international student and give them the best experience possible of moving into this amazing country with so many amazing opportunities. So that is a little bit about myself. And apart from all of that, I am a big foodie, like any North Indian, I guess. And I come from an army family. So army values are very deep rooted in me. And I hope to just build a bigger platform in Canada so that we as a community can be represented well and our voices can be heard.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ramneet, for taking out the time to join us and to speak to us today. I just asked in the chat if anyone else is from Chandigarh as well, like you. And I think we have at least 15 students who are from Chandigarh in the audience.
That's
So,
amazing.
really nice to see all of you here listening to Ramneet. Uh, so how we have kept the agenda for today's session, guys. I want you all to listen to this very carefully. How we have kept the agenda for today is that Ramneet will talk about two topics. One is the difference in the job market between India and Canada, and what you, as a student who is planning to go to Canada next year, how you should prepare yourself so that you can get a job in Canada after you graduate. So there are going to be some tips and tricks, I suppose, which Ramneet will share. And I urge all of you to note them down somewhere. You can note it down in your notebook or on your computer or on your phone. It will definitely be helpful. And after that, Ramneet will also talk about her own PR application journey after she completed her education in Canada and started working there, how she went about the whole process. So again, feel free to take notes during that. And Ramneet, I believe you would like to share your screen and show something to the students, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So guys,
Um,
do pay attention and I'm just going to let you start again.
okay. So can everybody see my screen? All right. So I think I just like it's not a full blown presentation, but I think it helps me articulate my thoughts more easy. So I'll keep my speaking segment to about 20 minutes, and then I really want to open it up for a Q&A for all of you to ask your questions. But whatever maybe I haven't answered so far. So I think I already told you about that I am the CGO at Empower, which is an organization that helps international students land careers and build their careers in Canada and also build a community for networking. And then also I'm a senior tax consultant with KPMG. So that is a bit of my professional profile, as we can say. So I think let's talk about job search and just like pain points from an international student perspective. I think when I personally moved to Canada, I was very excited and very I think clueless at the same time. I was excited, of course, to be on my own and to gain that independence and explore a new country. So that side of it is always, I think, equal for everyone, and it's this booming hope in us for all these opportunities that we could get in a new country. But I think clueless at the same time because it's a journey. I don't think so that can be replicated by anyone. I know all of you want to come to Canada, and all of you who have come to Canada before this, sort of come looking for the same thing. But I think our journeys in itself would always be very different because you will go through your own feelings and your own exposures and your own sort of like experiences you'll have with people that you encounter. So I think when I personally came, my first year was just about settling down and actually I think taking in that I went from like this Vela like school student to a person now who has to do full-time college and do part-time jobs to pay the bills. So I think that switch in itself is very drastic. And being away from home and being in a new country in itself is in itself, I think, challenging enough. So when you add in a layer of searching a job on the top of it, I think it becomes too much for a lot of students. And that's where they start thinking of like toning down the challenges, settling for anything that they're getting, and not actually being more proactive as you would be in your home country. Because when you're in India, you still have a system set up, like you've been here for a long time, you have your friends, you have your family, you know the language, you know the people, you know what to expect. Even if you go from state to state, we sort of have an idea of what to expect. Versus when you're, so that allows you to be very aggressive in your job search, to go for the top companies, to score well, and to actually strategize your job search that way. Versus when you're here and you're trying to make a living, and you're trying to pay the bills, and you're trying to figure out this new college, the challenge portion of job search kind of takes a back seat because there's already enough challenges. So I think the first pain in my job search, at least, and I think I feel like a lot of students do, is English being our second language. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we don't know English, because we do. All of us grow up studying English in our schools. We understand the language, we can write the language. But I think gaining the confidence to express yourself in English was something I really had to build over time, because it wasn't something I was so comfortable in. Yes, I could articulate my thoughts in English, and I knew how to have a conversation, but building that fluency and building that bridge between what I was thinking in Punjabi to translating that into English in my head, and then keep that conversation going and making English like a default language, was something I really really had to work on. And I think it's something that um, a lot of you will maybe face, depending on which part of the country you come from. So I think that's the first and the foremost like tip I can give you. It's just that build a comfort in English and stop worrying about that you sound differently, because we are going to sound differently, and that is okay. Uh, Currently, the team I work with and also the college I went to, I had people from all ethnicities around me. So, be it Mexican, Korean, Chinese, Brazilian, from Europe, from Australia, you'll find people from all parts of country in Canada, and all of them bring in their own accent and their own individuality to it. So that is something you never have to worry about, because that is something no one will try to hold it against you, but it's more so that you will hold it against yourself, thinking that the confidence is not surfacing right. So I think language was the first bigger part, and the second was not fitting in, because I think when I moved here, also because I moved at a very young age, that is, anyways, the time when we're all figuring out who we are as adults. And I think we're still figuring that out, who we are as adults. And I think that journey in itself gives you a lot of issues about your own self, not knowing who exactly you are, and then putting that in an alien environment. I always felt like I didn't fit in with these students who have had a very different life than me, who look at job search different than me, whose priorities are different than mine. So I felt very alienated, because it was just a different atmosphere in itself. And I think that affects not just your personal settling down in Canada, but also reflects in your job search process. And then I think the third biggest pain was not having an existing network. I think a lot of students, domestic students who are Canadians here, they start leveraging onto the network of their parents, of their friends, of their siblings, very early on in their career. So they sort of have like these mentors, or people they can look up to. Um, and when it's you who who's super new in this country, like of course you can have friends, and some of you might have siblings who are here, or college friends or school friends who are already here. So we feel like that is our network, and that is what we need to restrict ourselves to. But building that network professionally, finding those people in your industry who then become your mentors, people you can go to for advice, and people who can answer all these questions that you feel too ashamed to ask, maybe out loud in public, or something that you think, maybe a stupid question and I don't really want to ask it, like in a webinar like this. So at that point, who is that person you go to who can give you sound professional advice about your specific career, but at the same time, you have that comfort to ask those questions? I think that existing network also felt like a very big miss on my part, like when I was looking for a job in Canada. And I think the last would be no Canadian experience. And I think this is a term you will hear a lot when you move here, and it's very sad, but it is the reality that people would try to pin you jobs that are uh, maybe less than what you deserve and less than the skill set that you offer, and they pin you that, giving the tagline that you have no Canadian experience, so you need to start somewhere. And I think this is a very common thing you'll hear from everyone, that you have to start from somewhere. So just take a step down and do this particular job, because hey, again, you're not Canadian, you don't have a Canadian experience, so how do you expect these big companies to take you in? So I think once someone says you that, I think in all of this, like the thing you really have to realize is, what do you bring to a table as an individual, not as an international student, not as an immigrant? What do you bring to the table as a professional? And when you really start to bank on your skill set, your course knowledge, your personal knowledge, and your strengths, I think that's when you'll be able to maybe steer through these ideas or norms for people saying that you don't have Canadian experience. Because now that we are with Empower, and I've personally experienced for over like 7,000 people's journeys in Canada. And all of them have had amazing journeys to be able to steer through uh, these problems or these hurdles in their way. So it's definitely possible, and it's definitely something you could navigate, but it's just you need to know, where to start and how to start early. So I think before like I move on to talking very much about job search and what you should do, and I think if this is your first year of you, like you're not moved to Canada yet and you're still in that phase when you're trying to move, I think there will be like three things I would say that you should maybe think about, or maybe you should start doing, that will make your journey in Canada very, very easy. I think first would be to start building or start talking to people on LinkedIn. And I think LinkedIn, of course, is a platform, it is growing, but it's very confusing. Like I personally I love the platform, and I've built everything based on LinkedIn, even Empower. And this event in itself was a result of me being active on LinkedIn. But I think when you're new, the only basic thing you need to know about LinkedIn is it's a place where you could find people that could give you those advices. So just start reaching out to people in either the companies you want to work for, or either the courses that you're taking. Because when you start finding people in the courses or the colleges you're targeting, you can kind of figure out each and every person's journey, right? Like from which company, where did they go? What was their first job? What was their second job? So that sort of gives you an idea of everyone who's doing the courses you are doing or you intend to do. What does the future sort of looks like? And what are students who have already done these courses, what are they doing, and what did they do? What was their first job? Not necessarily saying that you need to follow someone's footprint, but it's all more about doing your research and kind of having your homework done about having of now you have a data of like a pool of data that that this is the course I want to take, and this is everything, every possible scenario possible out of my course. So which one do I want to take then? And if can I combine all of them and build another strategy? So that helps you clear out a lot of questions on what exactly do I need to do, after I graduate. But I think before you kind of get to that point of after you graduate, the first thing which a lot of you will do when you land here, or in your, at least in your first 6 months, is look for a part-time job, right? Like to pay for your bills, to pay for your tuition, like whatever is your personal scenario, you will sort of try to find some um, outlet that brings you money. So I think when it comes to part-time jobs, like open up your horizon a little bit than the typical part-time jobs that are offered. Like my first job in Canada was a cashier at a fast food store, and I think that's uh, very typical job that any international student sort of aims for. It's easy to get, it gives you sort of the experience to work in Canada, but at the same time pays you well, and it's very flexible. So working for fast food joints or supermarkets, or delivery services, like these are sort of the jobs a lot of international students look at, which are great to sort of pay your bills. But at the same time, it is something you won't be able to escalate. So I think you have to start, very early on, strategizing your part-time jobs in a way that it can actually help you land a full-time career. So why I'm saying that is that a lot of, pretty much all the companies in Canada, be it a bank, be it a big company, do offer part-time jobs. And those are very basic job, either like a receptionist or an administrator, or like a cashier, but in the bank. So I think as long as the job has some sort of administration side to it, you can use that job to sort of start upscaling and start networking. So after like my cashier job at Popeyes, I actually used that job to get a part-time job in a bank, even though it was in their back department and it was a very admin job. It still was the fact that I had the name of a bank on my resume, and that really helped me land a full-time career of what I'm doing today. So now with our advanced technology, that everything is virtual, everything is trying to be remote. We have people doing freelancing. You could do volunteer work. So with all these options, try not to restrict yourself to just conventional part-time careers, because the more unconventional and the more experiment you do in the first 2 years, the easier it will get after you graduate. And I think the more questions you start asking early on, the more people will try to start helping you. Because I think that was another thing that I realized, that I need to start asking people to help me. Ask my professors, ask everyone that I'm meeting along the way that this is something I don't understand, and you need to help me do that. So I think that would be like my second advice, is to really strategize your part-time jobs. And no one says that you need to limit your part-time jobs to just one thing and then stick to it. You can experiment as much as you want in your part-time job. So I think that is your place, to sort of start building up something that pays your bills, but at the same time start giving you those skill set that you need to build a career in Canada. And I think the third thing I would say, and I think that is one of the most important tip, or I could give you, or I wish someone would have given me, is that start doing your research yourself. I think as you are new in a country, we tend to rely on people to give us advice more than we tend to um, try to find it ourselves, right? Like Google is like the holy grail, which can pretty much give you your answers for anything. So why are we not using that when you have questions regarding, your PR, your work permit, if you have questions regarding the college you want to enter, or if you have question about the sort of career you could have or the sort of companies you could go for. Rather than asking someone and just relying on what they say, start asking those questions and start digging in and doing that research and answering it for yourself. Because the more you build this habit, the less opportunity you give to someone else to exploit you. Because when you're new in this country, you will find those people who are ready to take advantage of the fact that you know less. And it is sad, but it is the reality that you will find people who would want to, just use the fact that you know less. But at the same time, you will find people who would want to give you, the information, but leave it on you to decide. So I think once you kind of sort of take the advice from people and take it back home and then start doing your research, you would be able to figure out what works for you. Because honestly, and I think it feels weird to say that because I'm probably doing the same, is that everyone would want to give you advices. Everybody would want to tell you, do this or do that. And, this is something that could be good for you. And, if you go talk to someone else, they would give you their own advice of this is something that would be good to you. So I think if you start listening to everyone, you will be confused and limited to their experience. So maybe start opening up that horizon and asking more questions yourself on, like, is this really what I want, or is this something that makes sense to me, or is this something that someone is just saying? So I think let's just talk about like job search. And I think I'm not sure how much of a demographic we have. For a lot of you, this could be the first time you're looking for the job. And for a lot of you, it could be, first time looking for a job in Canada. In any way, it will be a new experience in itself. So I think what I see a lot of students or a lot of immigrants kind of sort of restricting themselves to is actually just applying online, right? Like we have jobs being posted on LinkedIn, we have jobs being posted everywhere. So that feels familiar for us to just build a resume, build a CV, update our CV, and just keep applying online because we think that is the primary way of job search in Canada. Where that is not completely false, like a lot of people do apply online. Even I got my job after applying online. But at the same time, how the industry in itself is set up here, that is that the more of the job search is sort of flowing towards the networking and getting it through someone or like tapping in for a referral with something. And this is something you will see um, quite a bit in Canada. And I think when I do talk to students now who are already here, who are probably in their first year of graduation trying to like look for a job, they sort of start thinking that how do I actually do that, and how can I talk to someone and ask them for a job, right? And most of us think that then maybe that is that easy, that when we do network and we try to get on to talk to someone, in our first conversation, this is what we ask for. We ask for a job. And I have done that too. In my first conversation talking to someone, I'm like, oh, you work for this company. Do you have any opening that you can give it to me? And although some people might be okay with you, most of the people won't be comfortable in giving you that referral. So what you can slowly do and actually start doing it from your year one in Canada, and that will sort of help you pivot your career in a very, very long term, is you can start applying online, but at the same time start engaging with people. Like start figuring out the companies you want to work for, and it doesn't have to be a targeted company, sort of the industry you want to work for, and start talking to those people and keep up on building that network for the 2 years or the 3 years you have to study. Because once you invest in talking and building that mentorship and that guidance sort of area with your network early on, the easier it will get for you when you actually start looking for a job to do that. So use LinkedIn to actually start talking to people. And I actually have so many students that are with us at Empower who start networking when they are in India, because I know right now due to flight situation a lot of you are stuck there and you can't, fly in Canada. And what those students have started doing is just reaching out to, the people that they think are in similar programs as they, and started talking to them and started seeing if they could get any remote volunteering opportunities, while being in India. So they've already started sort of gaining the Canadian experience, and also started talking to people in Canada already professionally. So now they know how they can, shape their job search in Canada when they go for the ultimate job search, here. So what I would say is, then rather than being at the top portion where you just, create one resume and one cover letter and apply for everything, and restricting yourself to what your college tells you, restricting yourself to just focusing on something that gets you the PR, versus actually, being more strategic about it and actually knowing what you want, researching the companies you want to go for, the positions you want to go for, and then actually network that way. Because let me bust one myth for you: pretty much any job that you would do in Canada can get you your PR. So the ultimate question about your PR is not what kind of job you will get, but the ultimate question for for your journey in Canada would be what kind of job you get, because ultimately that is the journey that will build you. And I think that is a very big misconception that goes around a lot of students that come here, is the fact that there are only a very niche jobs that you can get that will get you a PR, which is absolutely not true. The PR system in Canada is divided with with all sorts of skill sets. So you could be an experienced professional, or you could be someone who does more technical job, or you could be someone who does more so of a what we call here essential services, right? That is working in fast foods or in supermarkets or things like that. Even being there is where you can use that experience to get your PR. So it is not the job you will get ultimately that will make or break the PR you will get, but it will make or break the sort of future you want to have here. So I think that's what I see a lot of students, like what happens to a lot of students is that once you sort of graduate and you want to start looking for your job, you already start thinking about PR from the day you start here. And that is something everyone will keep telling you. PR is like, you need to keep thinking about your PR. And while that is important, and PR is sort of the basis of why we are here, but at the same time PR is not the end of the journey, it's just a middle part of it. So when you're trying to go for your PR, let me tell you what I did and something that you could do that will make your PR process very, very easy in Canada. So I think the first PR thing you need to realize is you need to understand your PR profile. So each one of you, depending on where you are, would have a different PR profile. So why I say that is because your age has different points. The language scores have different points. The amount of years you have studied have different points. Like, did you study in India versus did you not? Are you coming for like a postgraduate diploma, or are you coming for a master's? Each one of them would make your PR points different. So in that case, you can't just limit yourself that, oh, like I know someone who went for PR, so whatever would be his PR points would be same as mine. That is not true. So even a day in the age, if I'm 23 versus you're coming in and you're 26, our points would be different because age also has points in Canada. So understand your PR profile, and if this is something you need to start doing very early on, I would say in your second, like when you're about to graduate, 6 months before that is when you need to actually start sort of understanding what your PR profile is. And why I say that is because it will help you navigate the next 2 years that you have on your, on your work permit in the right way, that you're not stuck on wasting time on something that doesn't really matter. So understand your PR profile on what exactly would be your point score after 1 year of work experience in Canada, right? Put in your age, put in your educational background, and this is something you could do it on the Canadian website. So you don't even need to go or pay any immigration lawyers. Just search Canadian Express entry, and they will have a point calculator there. So that's what you need to do, is just go to that point calculator, and what you are currently, check out how many points you have and see how many points are there that's getting the draw. So it will help you understand what exactly you need to do. And I think the second biggest tip of that would be to to figure out your NOC code. So NOC code is basically what you get for the jobs you have. So whichever particular job you have would have a different NOC code, and that NOC code also determines how many points you get. So sort of give yourself an idea of like, these are like my job prospects that I'm looking at, and if this is the job I'm getting, what exactly NOC do applies to that, because that will help you figure out if that job can get you a PR or not. Like most of the jobs, I would say 80 or 90% of the jobs do, but then you sometimes will maybe find a unique situation, when company sort of gives you multiple responsibilities, but you don't necessarily fit in one. So in those cases, you need to really figure out what your NOC code is. So once you do that, and I think the gold mine of your PR, which most of the students overlook, are actually your language skills. Your IELTS can get you more than 150 points in your Canadian PR profile. And I think a lot of students just limit themselves to focusing on, the sort of job they get, and also sometimes, paying others to give them we make their points go higher, versus actually investing that time in doing your IELTS and actually increasing your band score, because with each point 0.5 of a band increase, your points go up significantly. Even I myself had to do my IELTS like 3 times to get to the optimal IELTS score that I want to get. So focus on your IELTS, and you actually start doing your IELTS in your first year of working, is because it's valid for 2 years. So give it a few tries to kind of really push yourself to get the maximum band score you could get, because that would really help you get up your PR points in Canada. And I think the fourth is you need to realize the areas of improvement. I think once you have sort of wrapped your head around what exactly is the PR process, what are the points you're looking at, you've improved your language skills, try to see what are the wiggle rooms in which you can actually increase your points. Sometimes there are certifications that could help you improve your points. It could be IELTS. If you are fluent in French, that could help you increase. There are a lot of like variables that can help you increase your band score in Canada. So you figure that out. Literally, if you go to the Canadian immigration website, there's all the information you will ever need. Even I did my PR and my postgraduate work permit myself. So like and if you are using Leap, I'm sure that you are someone who is looking for ethical immigration, and you're looking for someone who can give you advice for the right thing, rather than focusing on their own commissions and their own fees. So steer away from those sorts of immigration lawyers here, and you don't need to pay someone $5,000 or $6,000 to do your PR. If you go to the website and again do your research and spend enough time. I have personally done it. Pretty much everyone I know have done their PRs themselves. So it is something you will figure out, and it is something that the information is readily available, and the process is very easy, and the government really supports you. So all you need to do is just actually understand all these different segments of express entry, and just figure out what works for you as an individual, as a person, how does your profile sort of goes with the PR journey here, and then just figure out where exactly you need to do. So for people who are looking to come here right after, grade 12, because I came after my grade 12 as well, I know your point scores will be lower versus someone who's coming after, maybe doing their bachelor's. So in those times, I applied for my PR after working for 2 years in Canada rather than one. A lot of people start applying for PR after working 1 year because their points are high enough. But because I didn't study in India, my points were not high enough. So I had to have 2 years of Canadian experience before I could apply for my PR. So that's what I did, and I maxed out on my language scores. So I got an average of 8 or 8.5, I think, in all my Ielts exam. So that helped me improve my point score quite a bit too. So if you're someone who's planning to come right after your high school, there are two things you need to focus on. Is one, getting your job as soon as possible. The less time you waste after getting your work permit to actually starting your full-time job, the quicker you can get to your PR. So if you start early looking for a job, that is, starting your last semester is when you start actually going at it with full force, giving yourself 6 to 7 months to, sort of land the role. So that happens is the moment you get your postgraduate work permit, your experience in Canada starts counting towards your experience for PR. So for experience for PR, your experience has to be after your work permit. So you will not waste any time. So focus on getting your your job as soon as possible. And then the second thing is try to improve your language scores as much as you can. The more you can maximize it, the better. And I think in this in itself, if you focus on these two things, your PR profile will get to a point in which you can get your express entry. So just become comfortable with um, all these relative terms of like PR here. But at the same time, don't think that you need to pay someone $5,000 to give you the right advice, because everything is available online on the Canadian website. So I think just to kind of like move on to the next segment, I just want to talk a little bit about Empower, and if you guys of who we are and how we can like help you here, because I myself, as I said, was an international student, and so were so the three people we have who built Empower together, we all three were international students, and we've all gone through our job search process where we couldn't find a job. I personally couldn't find a job for like 7 months, and I've applied for more than like 500 positions because I didn't know how to do job search the Canadian way. So I think our mission is to, build job search program and build mentorship, and at the same time build a community of people where you can actually join in and start networking within the international student community. So right now we currently have about 1,000 people in our community, which are all people who have landed their jobs, who are working in Canada in all sorts of industries. So we are trying to build a platform where you can just come in and network with the people who have gone through, a similar career like job search phase as you have. And currently we've helped over like 7,000 students, and we've like hosted more than 2,000 webinars and workshops, and have had more than like 15 companies come in and actually give special mentorship to our students. So that is sort of like a place we are building where you could just first land in, and we sort of help you, kind of guide you through the whole job search process in Canada. And we are trying to build a community of career-driven international students who are here to achieve a better and bigger goal in life. And the latest program that we have launched in is like a 7-day job search boot camp, which takes you everything from how do you understand who you are and how you can target your specific industry, and taking you through the resume until to the point of how do you network and how do you interview for that specific industry that you're trying to go for. So that is something that we are doing at Empower, and we've already hosted like six batches of this program, and everybody who've gone through these batches have been able to land the roles that they wanted to, or sort of pigment segment in any particular industry that they want to. And we've had big companies and startups, and colleges, and like RBC is one of the biggest bank in Canada as well, to come in and give those special mentorship to our students. So that is like something we are, and I just put like the QR code here so you can scan it. It has my personal LinkedIn in there. It has our website, our Instagram. So if there's anything you would ever need help once you move here, and you just need someone to talk to, or you just need your kind of people, like we are here and I am here, and you can like connect with me on LinkedIn and ask any sorts of questions, because I know how exactly it is to move to a new country and feel the lack of support. So just so that you know that you're not alone, and it's not going to be a lonely journey. It is going to be a big learning curve, and it is going to be eye opening, but it is going to be amazing. Like if you really experience the Canadian education system, the way it is designed. You talk to your professors, you're active on your campus, you can you talk to people around you, and just not restrict yourself to the people. The journey is going to be so beautiful, and you're going to learn so much on the way. So when you get to the point that you have to do your job search, it will become easier and easier for you, because you will have those people around you. So don't shy from asking for help or asking for questions. No question is ever like stupid enough, or no question is ever like, oh, I should know this. If you have a question, ask for it. If you need help, ask for it, and people will help you. So just just focus you on being happy and um being mentally stable when you come here, and just being present in the moment, and trying to experience everything that you would experience once you move here, and rather than sort of succumbing to what people say it should be. And I think it's going to be an amazing journey for all of you. So that is everything I had to say, and I just want to now use this time, if we do have time, to just use people to ask their questions, if there are any questions that Tony you had. And I hope I
Sure,
didn't bore you too
sure.
much by like speaking
Oh
so
no,
much.
this was supremely helpful. Thank you so much, Ramneet, for sharing your journey with the students. To everyone listening, I hope this was inspiring for you and you had something that you learned from Ramneet's story today. We have a lot of questions from the audience. I want you all to just listen to me carefully once again. Some of you have some very specific questions about your own profile and which colleges you should apply to. Neither Ramneet nor I can answer those questions. They are best answered by a study abroad counselor. Fortunately, Leap Scholar has a team of several very experienced study abroad counselors. My colleague will send a link in the chat. Just go to that link to book a free counseling call for your Canada higher education degree. So I'm requesting again all of you who have very specific questions, just go to the chat and use the link there. The speaker's name is Ramneet Brar. Some people are asking about Empower and Ramneet. You can go online and check out their website. It's isempower.com. Ramneet will put it in the
Yeah,
chat.
I'm just gonna put it in the chat. So these are like all the links to my profile, like LinkedIn, Instagram, website, whatever you feel is comfortable. So I've put that in the chat box. So feel free to reach out to us as well, anywhere if you want, to ask any questions.
Awesome. So I'm going to pick up some questions from the audience, which I think Ramneet can answer well since you have studied business management in Canada.
Yeah.
Uh, One second. Ramneet, do you have any idea about supply chain or procurement, the courses, if you know anybody from that field? We have Zafar who wanted to know about the scope for that.
Mhm. So supply chain is actually a very growing industry within in Canada, and I think especially after pandemic, with each of the companies sort of moving themselves online, but at the same time in stores. I think the demand for supply chain has gone up quite a bit, and we actually in Empower community in itself, and actually even our COO, whose name is JB Jaskaran is his name, even he works in supply chain project management side with Article, which is like a very big furniture store in here. So yeah, the supply chain has an amazing scope. You can focus yourself within retail if you want to, if in these big supermarket chains that we have here, or if you want to sort of like pivot yourself towards more of some special goods or luxury items or whatever is the industry that you think serves you more. You can sort of pivot in that. But yeah, supply chain in itself is quite a big industry in Canada and has a lot of scope.
Awesome. Thank you so much for answering that. We had another question which asks, should I opt for a general business administration degree or should I go for a specialization like marketing management?
Hmm. I think again, the answer to that is, you sort of have to answer that for yourself. If you're asking for my opinion, I think specialization works more, because when it's a general business like diploma, it is way too generalized, and it's usually built for students here, because you know how in India we pick commerce or non-medical, or in our like plus one or grade 11, but here students don't do that. So these sorts of like general programs are made for them to just sort of get an idea of what commerce side is or what business is. So it is not going to be specific, so it's not going to give you any any special skills to apply to any career. So then you really, if you want to go for something general, only go if you're confused, if you really don't know what you want to do. So in that case, fixating yourself to a specialization might restrict you, because you could land in a specialization that you don't really like. So if you have no clue of what you want to do, then yeah, maybe having a general business like diploma could help, because then you could apply to a variety of fields. But in that case, you really really then have to start focusing on getting part-time jobs, or getting networking in a segment that you're interested in, because then you wouldn't have any technical skills that your course teaches you. And if you are very sure about that, sort of this is what I like, be it marketing or be it HR, like this is an idea of something I like, then go for that specialization, because that's where you'll build those technical skills.
Awesome, great. We have a couple of questions about the IELTS exam.
Hmm.
Quite a few people have asked two questions. One, how
Yep.
did you prepare for your IELTS exam personally? And
Hmm.
two, are they required to give IELTS again after they reach Canada when they are going through the PR process?
Hmm. For I'll answer the second question first. Is that yes, you do have to give it again, but depends on again when you're applying for your PR, right? Like I know there are students who tend to come for just like a 1 year program and go for their PR right after, because maybe they have experience in India, they've studied already in India, they have a master's or whatever in India. So in those situations, your PR would work, because your certificate is valid for 2 years, right? So as long as you have a valid certificate when you're trying to apply for your PR, you're okay. But if in general you're going to, do the 2 years and then, go on your work permit and then apply for your PR, then you would need to do it again, because it would have expired at that point. And it's also actually depends on that the IELTS we do for to come here is an academic IELTS, right? But the IELTS you need for your PR is the general IELTS. So the IELTS is different as well. So in most cases, yes, if you haven't done general in India, here you would need to do it again. And how did I prepare for it? Personally, the first time I gave it, I didn't prepare for it, and which was my mistake. I was just like, like I've been here enough. Like I think I have a command over my language. I did some classes in India before, coming here. So I understood, how exactly IELTS works. So I didn't take any classes again, which I think was wrong. I personally, when I retook my IELTS, my writing was the only thing that was lacking. And because I think listening and reading and speaking is something it's a practice. It's not something you need strategies for. So if you are comfortable in your English, um, then you don't really need much practice for it. But if you're not, then there's a lot of mock IELTS exams online. And actually, when you book your IELTS here through British Council, they send you a lot of mock tests. So just go through those mock tests for reading and listening, and I think those in itself are enough. But if speaking and like when it comes to writing, I did this course. I think it's called the English Academy. It's an online service, and then they had like this course only for writing, which was like a 3 days or a 4 days like practice course in which they sort of went through all the different, because like in academic IELTS we do graphs, versus in general IELTS you do like letter writing. So for me, I need to had to understand the practices and the point distribution again. So I just did that and practiced there. So it's called English Academy, and the course was free actually, so I didn't really have to pay anything for that. So yeah, there's a lot of online academies. If you really think you need command over your language, there's a lot of online academies that give you free mock test. And I think that's what I did. And it helped me with that.
Great. Thank you so much for answering that. I also want to let the audience know that Leap Scholar, we ourselves have an IELTS course, which is one of the cheapest ones on the market. We have two, three different types of courses, starting from 150 rupees to 800 rupees. They are all completely online, so you can go and check them out on leapscholar.com. And I'll just move to the next question. Just give me one second. So I know you already answered this question, but Karishma is asking one which many students will have, and I think that's probably the last question we'll be able to take up today. The part-time jobs that the student can take up in Canada, will I be able to find one that's relevant to my field? Or is the scope too limited and I would have to take up a different short-term role which is not related to my field?
I think again that answer to that relies on the industry you are in. But if you sort of come in like the business finance in industry as well, there are part-time jobs available within the industry. And even for me, who has an accounting and finance background, I was able to find that part-time jobs in the banks, right? Like, but the other thing you need to maybe see is that you're not limited just to part-time jobs. You can expand your portfolio doing freelancing. You can find non-for-profit companies that need people to help them. So just find your industry and see any non-for-profit within that industry, and even that experience can really help you land a full-time career. So I would say just step outside a bit. Like, yes, for part-time jobs for most industry are available, but at the same time look for freelancing and online opportunities or non-for-profit and volunteering opportunities, because all of these would in accumulation help you gain the full-time job. And also the other thing that is very helpful is when you're on campus, each program you're going to do will have a department that sort of is like tutoring, or like have like some special projects. So you can even apply for that, and that experience also sort of talks about your professional technical skill set because you're implementing that on campus as well. So I would say, like, broaden your horizon and think about all these things if you think part-time jobs are not like available within your industry.
That was very helpful. I think freelancing is something most students don't realize they can do. I hope you guys have noted that down. I'm going to have to wrap up now because we have to go on with our next session. But I just want to thank you, Ramneet, for taking out time to speak to our students today. And I'm sure everyone is very grateful for your experience. Ramneet has already shared her social media and Empowers details in the chat. So you guys can go and follow them for useful content. Thank you so much, Ramneet, for joining us.
Thank you so much, Swati, and everyone for taking out the time and listening to me. And I wish you guys all the best for your amazing journeys in Canada. And yeah, if you ever need help, feel free to reach out to me. And thank you so much again for coming here, and Dhwani for having me here.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Bye.
Guys, I will just go on and explain the rest of the agenda to you. As all of you know that today's session, we have 4 different subjects, such as supply chain management, construction management, computer science, and business management. All those of you who are interested in business management, please continue to stay in this meeting. Our expert counselor is going to start explaining about business management now. Anyone who has not come for business management, please check your emails or check the WhatsApp group that you were added in. You have to go and join a new Zoom meeting. In that meeting, there will be specific information given about supply chain management, construction management, or computer science. Again, I'm repeating, only if you are here for business management, continue to stay in this meeting. Otherwise, please leave the meeting and go and check your email and WhatsApp. You can join from there. Uh, I'm just going to start the chat in case you guys have questions about this thing, this whole, going to the different Zoom link. Please stay here only if you want to know about business management. If you want to know about computer science, supply chain management, or construction management, end this meeting, go check your email IDs. Saksham, if you have not got WhatsApp message, go check your email ID. Go check your email ID, guys. You will have got the email. Please go and check your email ID. You have got the email from Lead Scholar's site telling you about your Zoom link for construction management, supply chain management, and also computer science. A lot of people are asking how to book a one-to-one counseling session. We are all going to put the link in the chat box. Go to that link and book the counseling session. Also, after this event is over on Monday, everyone who has attended this event live will be getting a PDF from us, which has all the explanation that was given today during the event. So you'll get it by email if you have attended the live event. Guys, please go and check your email. You must have gotten the links. And if I'm just going to add all the links in the chat right now. Just give me 1 second. Guys, go and check your email IDs. You will have got the email about supply chain, construction management, and computer science. Hey guys, so I have just put in the chat the relevant Zoom links. So now I hope it's clear for everyone. Only if you're going for supply chain management, only if you're going for business management, you have to, uh, guys, please stop sending messages in the chat box. I'm sharing the link. I've shared all the links. If you keep sending messages, you won't be able to get the link. Please check the chat box. And the next speaker is starting in just a minute. We have Pushpalata ma'am, who is one of the counselors of Leap Scholar. I'm just going to ask ma'am to switch on her video and join us. Pushpa ma'am, can you hear me? Are you able to switch on the video? Guys, again, those of you who are not here for business management, I've just sent all the links in the chat. I hope you can see it. Pushpa ma'am, we can't see you.
But video is closed from your side only. I'm unable to.
Yeah, sure. I'll just give you that. Are you able to do it now?
Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah. Hi.
Just again, guys, go to the chat and you can just get the Zoom link for the other sessions. Hello, ma'am. How are you doing today?
Fine. Fine. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
All the students who are here with us right now are interested in pursuing business management in Canada.
Okay.
So I'm going to let Pushpa ma'am take up the session now. She will be explaining the basics of education in Canada for postgraduate degrees, especially for business management. Right? So I'm just going to share the PPT on my screen, ma'am.
Yeah.
And again, if at any point you guys want to book a call with Leap Scholars team, with the Leap Scholar counselors, you can do that using the link in the chat. We will send the link again. Hope everyone can see my screen. Yeah, ma'am, you can see, right?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I'll just let you start actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Dhavni. Yeah. This is a Canada education, and we are here for the especially for the Canada education. And it is especially looking for the overseas education into the PG diploma or the university. The mostly you're looking for the will get the colleges and the university. If you are getting more information about the Canada, we require the university. Can you please change the slide, Dhavni? Yeah. Post-graduation education system in Canada, they are mostly providers are university and colleges, and getting admission into university we have to fulfill certain criteria. For the master's courses only available into the university, first you have to take at least 16 years of education, and the university has the masters that is 1 year or 2 year it can be, but in colleges they have the 1 year, and their entry criteria very strict, and we will get the cut off the 70 to 80. It's depend upon the course to course and the university requirement. In university, SOP means statement of purpose required, and LOR as well. But in colleges, the courses don't require the SOP and the LOR, and the cutoff requirements are also very flexible and lower, that's the 50 to 60, and it's also depend upon the college. Thank you, Davni. Can you please change the slide? Yeah, masters, the requirement of the masters into the university, they mostly require the 16 years of education, And for the bachelor, the percentage should be 70% or more than the 70%. And IELTS should be 6.5 and not less than 6 in individual band. But we also look into that the like health courses and other psychological courses, they require 7 band as well. But into post graduation diploma courses, the minimum requirement of the year of education, that is the 15 years of education. The requirement for the bachelor, that is 50 to 65, as already told about that. And individual college has the different, the business, some universities they require 50 they can take, but some colleges are not taking to the 50. So we have to look into that the individual college. And IELTS as compulsory, it is the English language testing system. The minimum requirement for the 6.5 and not less than 6. The post graduation diploma and the master, it is the common criteria we have to fulfill. Very few university will provide 15 years of education, but most of the university they provide only 16 years of education. What is the 16 years of education? I think you're aware about it. In Indian education, we have a 3 years of bachelor, like a BA, BSc, and number of things. But only engineering and the pharmacy, they have a 4 years. That's why we're lacking to direct take admission into the masters. Thank you, Dhavni. Can you change the slide? Yeah, I think you are also know about the co-op program. What is the co-op? Co-op is a mainly in Indian. We are kind of internship kind of, and it is the program where you can work while studying, which is your industry. You already selected the field that is the main your study branch, and you can on there and you can start while you're studying. And mostly co-op program is available into the colleges. And second question may be in your mind, are you there providing the co-op aid? Yes, definitely they are providing. Colleges and university they provide. And second, we definitely think about that. How did they get the job? The university and colleges with the they already tie up with the different organization, and they will provide us the information on that. And student also can take a job and they can inform to the school. And most important thing, after completion of the co-op, it is not a guarantee of the job. It's definitely you will get the worldwide experience while studying, and it can be including your resume after completion of your graduation. This co-op program is more slightly expensive as compared to the normal program, because you will get the extra services and the with the service, and with you can go with the employer. And this the hiring, why they are hiring, because the employer think on that you will definitely get the new ideas and the fresh energy, and you will give the complete relaxation on the job portal. So this is the co-op program, and it is the part of the study. And if you're going for the one semester is your semester, and one semester is the your co-op term. And co-op term after you will get the again your main course. Thank you, Dhavni.
Yes, ma'am. One
Yeah,
second. I'll just
yeah,
move to the next slide.
yes, yeah. Yeah, part-time job criteria, work permit exactly in Canada, how it's work. Part-time job you can do 20 hours per week. Academic session, when your college and your schools going on, you have to do 20 hours per week. But you can do 40 hours per week in during your vacation, like a summer vacation, winter vacation, or Easter vacation. And the what is the minimum wage for getting for that? You will get 40 Canadian dollar to 16 Canadian dollar. It's also depend upon the job you're getting over there. So you can easily earn there and cope up your expenses. Yeah, we can move. Yeah, total cost of studying in PG diploma in Canada. See, this is the complete conversion we can give you into Canadian dollar as well as Indian. exactly how much cost for the PG diploma. If student is studying, definitely they think about that what is exactly the complete 1 year expense. So we can tell that if you're going for, I explain into the Indian rupees, the IELTS fees is the 14,000 approximately, and tuition fees, that is 1 year tuition fees, is 8,40,000 approximately, and it is also depend upon the college to college and course to course, it's varies tuition fees. And the living expense is 10,200 in Canadian dollar, and when convert into the Indian rupees, that is approximately 5,71,000. And the visa fees is 13,000. We can total, we can count IELTS, tuition fees, living expense, the complete your total expense is the 14 lakhs 93,000, means approximately 15 lakhs. So this is the your 1 year fees including your airfare and everything. But how can we can go to the part-time job and we can earn approximately 6 lakhs 44,000? Already told about that you can do part-time job 20 hours per week. If you're getting the lesser part of your job, that is 13 or 14, we can count by 13, you will get 6 lakh 44,000. The main 15 or 14 lakhs we can cut off, then approximately total expense rounded up, that is 8 lakh 50,000. So this is the total cost of PG diploma of Canada, and it is the very lesser as compared to any other country or master's program in Canada as well. Thank you, Dhavni.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am, for
Yeah.
explaining this. So now I'm sure that all of you have a lot of questions related to PG diplomas in business management. Before we take your questions, I want to share one video and one information with you all, that you all can actually sign up for a free counseling session with Leap Scholar. How can you sign up for it? Use the link that I've put in the chat box. Go to the chat box, not to the Q&A box. There is a link over there that I have sent. Click on that link, you will be redirected to a page of Leap Scholar. There you have to fill in certain details and you can sign up for the free counseling. I just want to let you all know that we have a lot of expert counselors like Pushpa ma'am, who have years of experience in helping Indian students to go to Canada and to achieve their dream study abroad education. So we are providing services such as one-on-one counseling, personalized counseling, university shortlisting. We file your applications for you. We help you with SOP and LOR. We help you with visa processing, and we provide free IELTS coaching as well. There is no other study abroad platform that will give you all of these things in one place. So Leap Scholar is truly going to be the best for your study abroad journey. I just want to show you guys one video. Uh, Ma'am, before we take the questions, I'd like to show this video.
Yes, definitely.
Are you able to see my screen, ma'am?
Yes.
You're able to see, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to start playing it. Let me know if you're not able to hear.
Unable. Yeah, Dhavni, we unable to hear voice. Hello, Dhavni. Dhavni, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Were you able
Unable.
to hear?
No, video is not here. It's muted.
Guys, were you able to see the video? If you can tell me in the Q&A box. Yes, so the students have said, I guess, ma'am, that they could see the video.
Okay.
The purpose of showing you the video was to tell you all the different things that Leap Scholar offers to their students at a very affordable rate. So as Pushpa ma'am will tell you, it's very rare that in study abroad sector, you will get all these things in one company at such a low price.
Yes,
So
exactly.
I'm just sending the link again, and now we'll take questions, and also ma'am will tell you about some top colleges for business management courses in Canada. I'm sending the link again and then sharing the top colleges. I'm sure those who want to go for business management, you have this question in your mind, where should I go? Which college should I go to? So here. Yes, ma'am. Can you see it?
Yeah. These are the top colleges in Canada where you will get the business management course, like a Humber College, Sentinel College. This is based in the Ontario, and the Fleming College as well. There are the Niagara College, and there are the so many colleges there. You will get the diploma and the advanced diploma as well as PG diploma. PG diploma for the after graduation completes a requirement, as I already told about that, the 6.5, and requirement for 50 to 60. You will get the post graduation diploma management. And the now January intake, as I think everybody want to know, the most of the college already crossed their deadline, but still we can try. Just register with us and sign up with our link and start your process if your IELTS already ready. If not, so just go to the website for regarding the IELTS information. You can get all complete information into one platform. Yeah.
Great, awesome. Ma'am, what about May intake if any student
Yes,
wants to go for
Lambton College still open with the main take, and there are the few more colleges open with the main take. We can apply on the same. If anybody miss for the Jan intake, we can go with the main take.
Okay,
And
awesome.
few programs still open for the Jan intake.
Okay, so few programs, sorry, are still open for the Jan intake, so you
Yes,
guys can go ahead and apply for that.
yes,
To everyone who's saying that they want to get their questions answered, I request you all to understand that we have over 300 students in this webinar right now. So it's very difficult for us to answer each and every student's questions. That's why we will pick up some frequently asked questions. Ma'am will answer them. And after that, you can easily go to the link which I've given in the chat, sign up over there, and there again you will get the chance to speak to one of our counselors for free, and they will answer all your detailed questions. I'm going to now pick up some questions related to study abroad for business management. Ma'am, Alka Arshad is asking, is it possible to do MBA in Canada after doing BBA from India? So
yes,
BBA is a 3-year course.
yeah. I'm coming on that point. Definitely most of the student is the common question for the MBA. For the MBA requirement, it's only we can find into the university, and university needs 16 years of education and plus GMAT, and for the MBA 2 to 3 years of work experience. This is the common criteria for the Canada. That's why student is not possible get into that. In India we are unable to find the 16 years of education if we'll get the unable to find the work experience. And the getting admission into the University of Toronto, University of British Columbia, University of the Manitoba, the GMAT score is max to max 550 and more than 550. So you have an alternate option. You can go for the post graduation diploma in business management for 1 year, and after that you can get the 1 year of work experience, and you will go for the MBA if you wish. This is the alternate option. And if you ready with the GMAT score, 16 years of education, you can easily get the admission in any big universities. You have to fulfill only entry requirement like academic. Mostly they require 70% in bachelor's.
Got it, got it.
Yeah.
So I think we can summarize by saying that if you have 15 years of education
Yes.
from India in bachelor's degree, it's very, very difficult to get MBA admission in Canada,
Yeah.
especially in the top colleges.
Yeah.
Alternative is you can pursue a PG diploma in Canada in the
Yeah.
field of business management.
Yeah. Alternate
Work
option you
there.
can.
Mm-hmm. Go on,
Work
ma'am.
there and he can apply. Somebody students are mostly they require the master courses or MBA courses. So he can go for 1 year PG diploma. After that, he can have the 16 years of education. Then he can take admission into MBA.
So I hope everyone who is asking for master's courses, also what ma'am just explained doesn't just apply for MBA. It also applies for masters in business analytics or any other master's courses in Canada which the non-engineers want to pursue.
Yeah.
So yeah, you will require, Ma'am, Jitin George is asking, which PG diploma course would you recommend after taking BBA from India?
BBA from India, definitely he can go for business management and any specialization like a finance and accounting and his specialization area. There are the different specialization, financial planning he can go for. Management, project management also best option for him.
Got it.
Yeah.
Sarvagya has asked a very good question, which I think everyone has in their mind. So everyone, please listen carefully. Does diploma give good job opportunity after the course, or masters is better for that?
Yeah, this is the best question and the common question is everybody looking on that. Definitely the master courses or the PG diploma courses, the comparison PG diploma, first is you will get the duration is less, tuition fees is less as compared to masters. You will get easily into the Canada and 1 years of work experience. In that period you can completely know the education system and the employment, everything. Then you let to know that the which is the best. So as compared to the masters, definitely he's give the 180 credit and in the PG diploma only 120 credit. So if you are not directly qualify into the masters or into the Canada, you can go for the PG diploma, or jobs opportunity are definitely we will get the equally valid for the both the courses, because both are the recognized by the Canadian government itself. So education system is the common, it's not any different between the both the things.
Got it, got it. That makes sense, and that's a useful
Only credit is
answer.
different. 180 credit in master, 120 credit in that, only that's the difference.
Got it. Two questions, one which people are asking, if they want to go in September intake and if they want to go in May intake, when should they start preparing?
For the next September or the May, they are asking for
2022. 2022.
next. So you have to start right now, because the Canadian government or Canadian university, they have a selective criteria. They already open and they fulfill their admission. So whenever you have completed with the IELTS, you just start for the whatever the next intake you have to file for that. If that intake is already closed, you can apply or for the next intake. So minimum they take 1 month for the offer letter. So you have to start as soon as possible.
Got it. So I hope that helps. Um, is there an age? This is also a good question from Sachin. Is there any age criteria for PG diploma course?
Age criteria is not there, but still there is a criteria for the gap and the education and the work experience. If you're going for the long gap, so rejection chances are 20 to 30%. But in the gap, that gap, you have a proper explanation with your work experience, then we can might and we can work on your profile. Because in Canada, they are looking for the genuine student. They are looking for the student who are really interested into education, not into the PR. The most of the student not getting directly PR, so they are coming into the student pathway. So we have to completely represent your profile according to your work experience, or whatever you're selecting courses in future, that should be related. Academic or experience, that should be related.
Okay. So, ma'am, you said long gap between the last degree, it's not accepted. So,
Not
what is the
accepted.
maximum gap that is?
Max to max 4 years or 5 years with the proper
So,
explanation or experience.
okay. So, a lot of people asked me this, that I completed BCom so many years back. You can see in the chat box they are
Yes.
asking.
Yeah.
If it has been more than 4 years since your last
Mhm.
bachelor's degree, it can be tough to get visa for
Then
Canada.
yes, then you have to go directly for the MBA, not PG diploma.
And you should be having some work experience in that
Yes.
4 to 5 years.
Yes. Yeah. Then you
Ma'am,
have to.
also, yeah, sure, sorry, go on.
Yeah. Yeah. No. No. Continue.
Yeah, and another common question is that they are asking about some people already have MBA or they already have a master's degree and then they want to go for PG diploma. So is that
Uh,
allowed or possible?
it's not Canadian government not restricted such cases. If you already have any degree, masters, PG diploma, MBA, any course, they are not restricted on that part. But definitely visa part, definitely they look into that. The student, they look into complete profile, not into your, if you have a master into hospitality and you're going for the any master into different field, then there might be chances of rejection. If you're going for the, if you have a master's in accounting and you're going for the MBA, that is acceptable, it's not an issue.
Got it. Got it.
Okay.
So, getting admission may not be a big blocker, but
Yes.
visa can be a problem.
Yeah.
Got it. Makes sense. Swapnali had asked this question, and several other people had asked. So we hope that answers
Yeah.
you guys.
Getting visa only problem if we have to put up file proper explanation with the proper experience and everything, then might be chances, but long gap and stream change is a big problem for the visa.
Got it. Got it. KH is asking, can we do MBA without work experience in Canada if we have 16 years of education and required GMAT score?
Yeah, only few university allow without work experience. There are the option available.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Like the
it's
university.
not impossible.
No, it's possible.
Uh, I'm just seeing questions that we have not already
Yeah.
covered.
University of Canada West easily can get admission without work experience.
Someone had asked about that. So
Yeah.
they are asking if it's a good college as they are taking without work experience.
Yeah, it's a new college, and now the students are not easily crack the deal of the academic thing, so they are selecting the University of Canada West. It's nice one. Not we can get topmost like a University of Toronto, University of Alberta, and University of Manitoba, but it's a new one.
So keep in mind it's a new college.
Yeah.
Astha and Anish both asked that if they do some kind of diploma in India or some certification course, does that count as 16th year of education?
It's not if that is full time, definitely it's count.
If it's a full, if they are going and I mean now everything is online because of COVID, but if they are doing full time, then it's
yes, that
allowed.
is acceptable, and that should be higher level, not a lower level. If he's completed his a bachelor and he's going for diploma, diploma is the undergraduate. So if you're going for any PG diploma, then it is countable and the recognized university or some recognized body only.
Ma'am, what do you suggest? RP is asking for students who have more than 5 years work ex. Will they be able to get MBA or PG diploma?
MBA they will get if they have a 5 years of experience. Definitely they will get, but with the GMAT score 550 or more than 550 or university requirement.
So GMAT will be compulsory for
Compulsory,
MBA in such
compulsory
case.
MBA. I already told about the University of Canada West. They accept without GMAT as well.
Ma'am, can you give any approx cost of MBA in Canada? Alvin wants to know.
Yeah, the cost is approximately 30 to 40 lakhs in between,
Per
or more.
year?
Yeah, or more than 50. If you are going for the topmost unity, 50 lakhs as well.
Okay, so everyone who's listening, please note that MBA also comes under business management, but it is much, much more expensive than PG
Yes.
diploma.
Yeah. 35 to we can count 50 lakhs in.
Got it.
Yeah.
Sarvakya and several other people asked me about distance learning. So if the student has completed bachelor's or master's in India from distance learning, what is the, will they be able to go to Canada?
No, not exactly. Distance learning is not acceptable. If acceptable by the university or college, then only visa get rejected.
Oh, even if it's even if you get admission, visa
Yeah,
gets rejected.
reject.
So if you have done bachelor's through distance learning, which Sarvakya has and 2, 3 other people have,
Yeah.
what is
Sometime
the
bachelor should be full time. It's a compulsory, and he completed masters from the distance, that is acceptable. But bachelor also distance is not acceptable. The university also not acceptable. They are looking the A grade, NAC A grade university, Canada.
Got it, got it.
Hmm.
Jiveta is asking, when will admissions open for September 2022 intake?
Is already open. Jan is already full. The most of the university they already started application process for the September. University has the different intake, and the college also. The May is already started. After finishing with the May, they can start for the September. We can apply for the few colleges for the conditional as well. Like IELTS, they have to ready, so we can start with the uh, IELTS conditional basis.
And of course, guys, if you have not given IELTS yet, you don't have to worry because Leap Scholar also gives IELTS training classes.
Yes.
So you
Yeah.
can join our online classes itself.
Yeah, you can take each and every steps, like IELTS, visa counseling, admission counseling, university, and everything. We can help on every stage.
Ma'am, any info you can give about Brock University? I got this question many times in the chat.
Yeah, but this university has the getting admission same criteria for the all the university. They have a, like a 16 years of education, and for the masters they need a GRE. But the getting admission is quite easy as compared to the University of Toronto and other university.
Okay, makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Ma'am, Sumit has asked this question since we have done a lot of discussion on 15 and 16 years
Hmm.
education.
Yeah.
As all the Canadian university want 16 years and we Indians have 15 years if we are
Yeah.
from non-engineer
Yeah,
background.
that's the main problem.
So does that mean it is next to impossible to get admission in a good university in Canada for us and we have to settle for not so good university?
Not exactly. For the alternate option you have now, you can go for 1 year PG diploma course, and after that you can go and take any reputed university over there directly. It's they have a certain criteria and they are very strict on that
So
in
I
the
hope that
university.
answered your question, Sumit.
Yeah.
Uh, Ma'am, some people are saying that you said Jan intake is full, so do they have no chance? Harshdeep and Arushi are saying, is it already full? Can we not apply for Jan
Uh,
intake?
I already told that the same thing. The few courses are still open for the Jan. Once we see your profile, which course you are looking, and then we will completely know about that. The that college is open for the Jan or not.
Okay, makes sense. Even
Yeah.
Clive is asking if brand management is open for Jan intake in Seneca. It's very tough to answer that here. So
Uh,
actually, I will request you guys to, yeah, ma'am, you,
yeah, first of all you sign up with us, and when we
yeah.
are going to apply on the same thing with the complete profile, if your IELTS is ready and everything is ready, so if Jan intake is definitely available, we can apply on the same. But it's we can see on the website it's open. When going to apply there, the most of the college is already full and they are already move forward to the next intake. So if you are ready with your all documents like mark sheets, GRE, or if you're applying for the university and the IELTS, we can apply and then we'll let you know exactly. But most of the colleges for the Jan intake is already closed. But few courses still open, like St. Clara's College is still open for the few courses.
Got it, got it. So there are still chances, guys. It
Yes.
really totally depends on which course you want to go for.
Yes.
And secondly, even if the particular course that you really want is closed for Jan, usually it will have a May intake in some
Yeah.
colleges. So you can go for the May intake as well. But
Oh,
whatever it may be, don't delay it anymore. Just sign up with us. We will help you with the whole procedure. Uh, I was just going to ask me. Yeah, can you tell a little bit more about the 1+1 PG diploma courses
yeah.
that
Yeah.
Humber has?
Yeah, 1+1 means you have to go with the one course here, and before completion of your course you can take another course, and a complete duration of your education is 2 years. Then you will get up to 3 years of work permit. Got it?
Okay,
Yeah.
so that I think they're asking in Humber College. There's
Yes,
one 2 year course. Yeah.
they have the some courses, the favorite courses like any business or cyber courses, if not getting admission, they can go for the 1+1. They are looking for the total complete duration is 2 years, because that after completion of that they will get complete 3 years of work permit. If they are not crack this deal, they can go for 1+1. The Humber have that option. You can select.
Ma'am, is May 2022 intake open?
Yes,
Soundarya wants to know.
yeah, it's
Yes,
open.
Soundarya, it's open.
Lambton has the number of courses and they still open for the main take. And Fanshawe College also have the same.
Got it. Sehaj is asking, if I graduate from bachelor's degree in 2022 in June, then can I go in May intake or I have to go in September intake?
Main take you can go if you're ready with the IELTS, or you wish to next, I think October, then also May for possible for you.
Okay, so it's possible to go in
Yes,
May.
yeah.
Got it. How can you sign up with Leap Scholar? Which colleges are open for admission? Everything we will be able to help you with if you sign up using the link. Check the chat. You will be able to see in the chat.
Yeah, any query regarding and one by one counseling, and regarding the shortlisting of universities and application process, what document require, the location and everything, we help into that. And the intake, see your profile is when we submitting with the team of application, then we exactly know the which course is open for the Jan and May and what exactly. So for everything you have to start the process. That is the your first step, the start the sign up with us.
Got it. Guys, I just want to let you know that after we end this session in the next few minutes, we are going to have two speakers who are Indian students in Canada who completed their PG Diploma in Business Management courses, and you can ask your questions to them about their experience. Both of them are doing successful jobs in Canada now, so do stay around till around 6:50 and then we will have that question. Then we will have that session. Ma'am, do you have any tips or anything for students who want to go right now in Jan or May?
Yeah, the first they have to take a step, sign up with us and complete submit profile within a 1 or 2 days. If you're looking for the really Jan, so we can check whether the still the looking course and college still open, and we will do fast your process. And if you're not, the prepare for the IELTS and try to get a 6.5 bands, and the admission process will start, and we will help into each and every step.
Okay, great. Awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of you have missed some parts and you're telling me to repeat it. It's not possible to do that, but this is being posted on YouTube as well. So you can check out on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, business courses, you can select any business courses specialization available in each and every colleges. You can select them like a financial planning, and the requirement is 6.5 to try to get. If you are not attending any IELTS classes, so please join with the IELTS classes and score 6.5. And any question, just write a mail. You will get the email ID into the chat box and sign up with us. And the individual, if you're not looking for the business management, there are different courses in the PG diploma, and you also not looking for the PG diploma, we will also help out into the masters as well, what we can find out the best solution for you with the required information. And any information, just connect with us.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.
We already have Akanksha Puri, Mishika Shah, and Sarthak Chandana with us.
Yeah.
They are all three students who are currently in Canada. Not students, I would say working professionals in Canada. So I'm going to let them take over. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Dhoni.
Sarthak, Mishika, and Akanksha, thank you for joining us today. I'm just going to allow you to switch on your video. Can you let me know if you're facing any issues with that? can just unmute yourself and let me know.
Hi, Dhwani. I can see you, and I think my video is visible now.
Yes, it is.
Hi Dhwani, I can't switch on my video. It says you cannot start your video
Can
because
you
the
check now,
host.
Sarthak?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
I think I'm not able to do that as well. Oh, yes,
Rishika,
I
are you
think.
able to do it now?
Let me try again. Yes, yes, now it's
Yeah,
perfect.
hi everybody.
Hi, hi.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Mishika. Hi, Akanksha. Hi, Sarthak. First of all, thank you so much for joining us today on a Saturday so early in the morning to share your experience with our students. We have close to
No
200
worries.
students in the audience with us, all of whom want to pursue a degree, or sorry, a postgraduate diploma or their higher education in business management. So we thought we will get some speakers who have been through the same journey before and who can share their experiences with them. I would really be grateful if all of you could give a short introduction about yourselves to our audience, and then we can start, sort of discussing your experience and taking questions. So, guys, I would also to the audience, I would request you to, of course, pay close attention as our speakers give their introduction, because all of them are from some really well-known colleges in Canada, and I'm sure a lot of you want to, like, your dream is to study in those colleges as well. So you can ask your questions related to that. Why don't you go first, Akanksha?
Dhwani, I'm not sure I will be the best person to start with because my MBA on my graduation was actually back in India. So I wouldn't be able to delve into the education and the colleges in Canada, if that's okay.
No, absolutely, I understand. But you could give a quick intro about what kind of work you do in Canada.
Oh, definitely. So let me just give you a background for everybody. I have a bachelor's in economics and I have a specialization in behavioral economics from Delhi University. Post that, I went and did my MBA in finance and organizational behavior from SIU, which is Symbiosis International University. Um Post that, I do have about 6 years of experience in managing and leading projects in change management, as well as project management. And I have worked with a couple of big four consulting firms, as well as the industry in both Canada as well as India. I immigrated to Canada about 3 years ago. So I have been working here since then. And it's a very rewarding experience for everybody who's on the call.
Thank you, Akanksha. Rishika, would you like to go next with your intro?
For sure, for sure. So I'm from Mumbai basically, and I did my graduation and post graduation both in India. I pursued integrated course for engineering and MBA from NMIMS, that's in Mumbai. And after graduation, I started working as a product manager for a fintech organization. I worked for, I guess, over a year. And after that, I decided to move to Canada. And so the first course that I did was IBM, which is International Business Management from Seneca. And that course, I immigrated to Canada in December 2019. So that was the January intake that I took into. And yes, after that course, I did another course, which is financial planning from Seneca as well. And I graduated in May this year. And before I even graduated, I landed a full-time job as a product manager at a fintech organization in Canada. The company is based out of Montreal, but it's a permanent work from home. So yeah, that's about me.
Thank you, Mishika. And we come to Sarthak now. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi everyone. I came to Canada in January 2019. Before that, I'd done my engineering in India. I'm from Delhi, and I'd worked in like a couple of big organizations in sales and marketing for 2 to 3 years. I came to Canada and I studied in George Brown College. I did international business management and entrepreneurship management. I just graduated last year, and after graduating, I found a job in a well-known North American IT company. So I've been working in IT sales, and in the meantime, in the past couple of years when I was a student, I've done all kinds of jobs, starting from Uber to working in warehouses to working in call centers. So I have some experience in that. But now things are getting better, and my job, like Mishika, my job is work from home. So that's about me.
Thanks so much, Sarthak. So I see some things in common between the people on our panel. That of course both Mishika and Sarthak have studied international business management. So I'm just going to start off with that because I have a question about that from the audience. Uh, Akshata Pavaskar wants to know what is your opinion about Masters in International Business Program or PGD in International Business Program with respect to career opportunities in Canada? So I'll open the floor to Mishika or Sarthak, whoever would like to go first on this.
Yeah, so that's a good question because that's something that everybody is worried about when you're back at home and you're exploring options. So that's something that's very important to consider. So as far as the career opportunities are concerned, uh, what kind of jobs will you get? What kind of jobs will you be open to? Right? Will you be able to apply for? That basically does not depend on what you study. Like it depends on what your interest is. So say you're doing international business management, irrespective of whether you're doing a PG diploma or you're doing it from a university. I think the major difference there is the cost, right? So if you go for a university, you're going to be spending, say, 2 or 3 times the money that you spend if you did do the same course in from a college like Seneca or George Brown or any other. But as far as the career opportunities um, are concerned, the major factor that decides where you go is your networking skills, um, your the references and the connections that you build around with people in from that industry, because that's something that we're unaware, and we do not do that in in India, especially because we have a system of placements wherein any college you go to, you have a panel that will come up. They will just come up and do interviews, and that is how we get hired, most of us. But that's not how it works here. Irrespective of you go for a university or you go for a college, the placement is on you. Like they will have job portals and they will have all those facilities available, but they do not guarantee you a job, right? So LinkedIn is the best platform to leverage at that time when you actually want to find a job. But it does not matter too much. Like I did not study from a top notch university. I Seneca is just like a normal college, right?
Yeah, absolutely, Mishika. I think the point to take away here is
So
hello.
but I still landed a job that maybe a university, somebody from university
Uh, I think we can't hear you, Mishika, right? Sarthak, Akanksha, can you hear?
Yeah, she got cut out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Mishika
Oh,
has some kind of network issue.
okay.
Hello, Mishika, we can't hear you.
Yes, yes. Oh, I'm actually not speaking anything. Can you?
Okay, okay. Yeah, actually your screen is frozen, so we think there's some kind of network issue.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, maybe you could switch off the camera and switch
Okay,
it on again. Yeah.
possibly.
So I think the takeaway from what you said is that there
Yeah,
are
for sure.
several job opportunities available after international business management, but what kind of opportunity you land up with depends a lot on your networking skills. Right. So I want to pose a question to Sarthak
That's
now
correct.
that you also graduated from an international business management course. And a lot of people again are asking about the career scope after that. And you are now in a sales field. So what are the different things you have seen your classmates do after IBM? And so what do you think are, the various types of careers that one can expect after doing this course in Canada?
So as Mishika said, like finding a job in India, it's pretty much different. Like there's campus placements, and then the university or college helps you find jobs. But here it's all about soft skills, your networking skills, how many people you know, how many referrals you know, how many people are in your network. It's your friends, family. So if I think about my classmates, like they've after doing IBM, they've gone like in different kind of careers. Some are in IT, some are in logistics, some are in customer service, some are in security. So that does not matter. It just depends what kind of like job you land up, and what's the availability, and also what's your interest. So there's no hard and fast rule. And honestly, like these courses, like these PGDM, they're not in-depth courses. Like my younger brother, he studies in University of Waterloo. So there, the level of education, and it's more in depth. It's more intense
True.
as compared to colleges. It's not that. I won't call it difficult. Like you can just pass easily, and you can get, like I got dean's honors without even studying that much. So
Yeah, true. Good.
Akanksha, what do you say about the various types of business career opportunities for Indians in Canada? Like, is there any
Um,
particular field we should be looking at?
I think I would leave it to the individual as to what they have, they enjoy as a career, more than, a field that would be more enabling their skills and competencies. And I think that's what you should always strive for. There was something that Sarthak really pointed out, and also I think Mishika, that it's very important to keep yourself up. Updated with what's happening in the marketplace. So LinkedIn is a great source where you can really get information as well as share information, and you can make your connections, you can grow your network. And I think that's one wonderful source, and don't really depend on uh, college placement opportunities, because it's very important that we take control of our own career. And I think that's why it's very important that you continue to network even outside your college, and ensure that uh, you don't just depend on one source, because there's no guarantee here in Canada as compared to what it is in India.
Got it. That makes sense. That echoes what the other panelists have said as well.
Yes.
I'll take up the next question now. Again, I'll open it to Mishika and Sarthak first. Jitin is asking that he wants to do a 1+1 PG diploma course in Canada, and he's very interested in IBM. So, what is an ideal pair to that PG diploma? Like, Mishika, you did financial planning after your IBM. What would be an ideal pairing with IBM? He wants to do two diplomas.
I think Sarthak already mentioned that it's more of a generalized course. Like IBM is too generic. So when you take up IBM, you study everything, right? So you'll have marketing, and um, you'll have bits and pieces of finance, and you'll do like an overview of basically it's like first year of your MBA, right? So it's very generic. So that gives you the opportunity to basically get into any specialized course that you want to do later, depending on what your interest is, right? So for people who are say who are not familiar or do not have an idea of where they want to go next, um, this can be a good course to really understand what you actually want to do, right? And then when you eventually land up here, you get to understand and um, deep dive into a particular sector that you like, and then you can choose your course accordingly.
Got it. Sarthak, what do you say if you had to do another PG diploma course? What would you have
So
taken up?
since like I've gone through what all of these guys plan to go through, so being honest, like in your second year you won't have your GIC, and what I would recommend is that do a course that is also like employers like it and it's easy to do. So I would suggest project management, marketing management, financial services, entrepreneurship management, sports and event management. So the courses that are not too intensive, like 8-month courses with or without co-op, I would suggest those for the second courses because people have to work also.
Yeah, so essentially, to summarize, it's better to take an easier course which is less intense. So you have time to work on the side and also like apply
Yeah,
for jobs, polish your
yeah,
resume, and things like that.
exactly. The
Yeah,
first course should be like the more difficult one out of the two, according to me. I may be wrong.
yeah, that makes sense. That makes complete sense. I have a similar question on the similar lines, which we had collected before this event. We had floated a form and asked people their questions. How much math is involved in these courses? This was asked by Jannat. She wants to know that are the business management courses very math heavy?
I don't think it
Uh,
is. Not even
no, yeah,
10%.
not at all.
Not at all. So you don't have to worry if you think you're not very good at math.
Yeah.
And I
Like I
think
was from a
the
science background, so
And I also think that the amount of focus that we do in maths, especially back in India, I think we're well actually ready for the maths here in Canada because it's not as deep until unless you're actually doing something in actuarial sciences or a specific mathematics course.
Got it. That makes sense. We have certain questions about the cost of pursuing business management in Canada plus the return on investment. So, how did you guys decide that you want to do your PG diploma in Canada and not India? And do you think it's been a good choice for you in terms of ROI? I think that's the number one question for any Indian student when they're going abroad. That is it worth my money or not to go abroad?
That's true. That's true. That's something that we always worry about when, when you are back home wondering where to go and what to do. But so I think the average cost is somewhere around 15 to 17 thousand dollars, which would depend based on the college you choose, right? So and universities are much higher for that matter, but yes, colleges are around 15 to 17,000. And as far as the return on investment is concerned, that is totally on, that depends, it's subjective, and it really differs from individual to individual, because I know people who have graduated and are still doing their part-time jobs as their full-time jobs. So you know it really basically differs from what your background is, what experience you have. And the best, like, I know people who are doing amazing jobs, and the return on investment is basically a variable that depends on the individual.
I think we lost Mishika again.
That's on you how you are able to
Hello.
I think you'll have to switch off your video, Mishika.
Yeah, I think you have some network issues, so video and audio both will not work out.
And Wi-Fi in Canada is not as good as people think. I think in India it's
Got
better.
it, got it. I'll just let Sarthak take up the question then.
So what was the question? Can you just repeat that again?
Yes, the return on investment from studying
Yeah.
business management in Canada.
Okay. So like, I'll be honest with you guys. So like the fees of a course is 16,000. You do two courses, that's 32,000. You spend 10,000 on GIC, 5,000 for miscellaneous expenses. That's like 25,
All this is in
30 lakhs.
dollars. I just want to
Everything is
tell
in
the
dollar.
audience.
If
Yeah.
I convert that into INR, that'll be like 30 to 35 lakhs that you'll be spending out of your parents' pockets or out of your pockets or whatever. Now, like as Mishika said, there's a lot of people who can't find jobs or who are not good in networking or they're just plain unlucky. But a lot of people who are successful also. And if you are successful, just imagine if you're earning 50, $60,000 a year, you'll make up that money in less than 5 years, in much less than 5 years. So if I talk about ROI, then there is a good ROI, but it just depends on how much you want to struggle and how much you want to know the right people and do the right things. All depends on you.
For both of you personally, okay, yeah, Mishika is back. For
Okay,
both of
yes.
you personally, do you think your decision to do a PGD in Canada has worked out in terms of the financial investment made?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay, great. So I hope that helps. Sehaj is asking about something that all of you have mentioned. Is it really important to do networking to get a job in Canada? And what are your tips on networking that have really worked for you in Canada? I'm actually going to let Akanksha take the lead on this, and then all of you can share a little bit about any networking tips you have.
Definitely. So there are a lot of opportunities for networking in Canada. It's not just you can register yourself with a mentoring firm. You could also try out bridging programs. But there's a lot of networking that you need to do personally. And I don't think you can really find a job. I mean, Sarthak and Mishika can disagree, but I don't think you can find a job without really networking with people. You have to be open. You have to be not just open in your mindset, but also have a positive mindset when you go to these networking places and connect with people, uh, have conversations, and try and understand what they really do rather than just ask for a job.
That makes
Yep,
sense. What
that's
about you,
correct.
Sarthak?
So like if you look at the sheer number of immigrants in Toronto, in Canada in general, like there is so much competition for a white collar job. So like how will you differ? Like how are you different from the other candidates? So like you have to develop a skill set or just have something to offer. Or as Akanksha said, you can't just walk in there and say that give me a job. Like you need to know the right people in the organization who can refer you internally. Like I applied to my job 6 times and I got rejected 6 times, and then when the seventh time I applied, I finally got an interview. But again, it was through a referral. So that is number one, the most important thing. And I think for networking, LinkedIn is number one, a good tool. And also apart from LinkedIn, like there are forums, and just in general, like if you talk to someone in the subway, in a restaurant, generally just be like talkative, don't be introverted, just like build connections and they'll help you out somewhere.
Makes sense. Makes sense. What about you, Mishika? How has your experience been with networking?
I totally agree with what Akansha and Sarthak have mentioned. Like, it's all about building connections and genuine connections. Like, you don't have to go to somebody and say that you want a job, because that does not help you. You have to try to understand what that person is doing, what that person is into, and how that person can eventually help you. So that really matters a lot. And LinkedIn is something that um, we have to leverage if you have to get a job in Canada, because you keep applying. You can do a lot of cold messaging, to recruiters, and do, because I know that if you do 100 messages, you will probably not get any replies. But the more you do, the more you increase your chances of getting there. And colleges have a lot of events where they bring in recruiters, and you can connect with them. They have coffee chats that they offer, so you can do all of that. And that gives you a better chance. You just increase your probability of being in the top few people who have a better chance of landing a job. So yes.
Thanks so much for sharing that. I think that just underscores the importance of networking, regardless of which country you're in. But of course, in a foreign country, it's even more difficult. So, yeah, thank you for that. I have a slightly specific question to business management again, which I'm going to take up. It asks, what is the difference between international business management and global business management? Is one better than the other?
There is no difference, guys, and don't get fixated on business management, because like it's not an MBA, it's not a specific course that'll help you learn a lot about finance or marketing or accounting in general. It's just a broad spectrum course. So I would say there are a lot of other courses also that are interested. If you get that in a good college, go for that. Don't get fixated on business management. There is absolutely no difference between IBM and GBM.
Mishika, do you have anything to add on to that, or do you
No,
agree?
he's perfect, right? There's no difference, and I think the only reason we're focused on business management is because it's the easiest way to go about it. Like, that gives you like an easy pathway to immigrating. So that's why people go for it. But it does not add a lot of value, to be honest, because it's a very generic course, and it's nothing is in depth. You would just study an overview of basically every subject there. So.
But then does it make a difference where you do the course from? Because IBM is only offered in certain colleges and GPM is only offered in certain colleges. So, and both of you studied in different colleges. So, what are your views on, which are the best colleges to aim for if you want to work in business management or study business management?
So like all these colleges are SPP colleges, so like the quality level of education is the same. But the only difference is like in the crowd and in the faculty. Like I went to GBC, I have a lot of friends in Seneca, Algonquin, Centennial, and Conestoga, and all those colleges. So like all these colleges are pretty much the same, but like there's A grade and B grade colleges. So like Canadore, Cambrian, those are the B grade colleges, and George Brown, Seneca, these are the A grade colleges. So as long as you're going to the A grade colleges, you should be good.
So within the A grade colleges, it doesn't make too much of a difference which college you go to
Yeah,
if you
yeah, it
want to
doesn't make.
study
Yeah, it's the
business.
same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct,
Okay.
does not
It's
matter.
yeah. Sorry. Okay. I just want to ask you all again, where are you, each of you, based right now in Canada? Hello.
I'm in Toronto. I'm in Scarborough specifically. Um, so yes, I've always been yours since the time I immigrated to Canada.
And what about Sarthik and Akanksha?
I'm in Toronto too.
Yeah, same here. I'm in downtown Toronto.
Awesome. So I asked this question because I have several questions around part-time jobs while doing your business management course. And people want to know is there scope for doing part-time jobs along with the course? Will they be able to get jobs or not? So I asked where you are to get an understanding of which city you are in. So so to let the audience know that our speakers are from Toronto and they've studied there, so their experience will be based on Toronto. So I'll ask Sarthak about his part-time job experience.
So my part-time experience has been like has had a lot of ups and downs. When I started with Walmart. It's a pretty easy job to get. They pay you $14 an hour, and you allowed to work 20 hours. You can go up to like 24 hours on campus and 20 hours off campus. That's the limit. And I worked there. Then also I was doing Uber Eats and Uber part-time. That's a lot of people that they do, especially guys. And then I worked in a warehouse for some time, and I worked in a call center for some time. So I would say that for us Indian students, the best part-time job would be working at a call center because you don't have to do any physical work. We're not used to doing that. And also it's a good job. Like it helps you network, it helps you learn how to speak with North American clients. So that's my experience.
Got it. What about you, Mishika?
So when I came here, I started working at a restaurant and I was working as a server. So for all the girls out there, it's a really nice opportunity. You get to learn a lot, you meet new people, and you make amazing money because apart from the base pay that you get a lot of tips. So you really make a lot of money. But after that, because of COVID, the restaurants shut. So then I started working at Home Depot, and yeah, and that was it. I worked there for over a year, and until I got my full-time job. And it's I would say it's not difficult to get a job, but then again, it all depends on how you present yourself, how you network, and all the stuff like that. So it's basically the same criteria to get a full-time job and a part-time job, but for part-time jobs you can just leverage Indeed, because that's where most of the part-time jobs are posted. So yep, that's the best way to get it.
Awesome. Akanksha, I'm assuming you haven't done part-time jobs in Canada. So that's why I'm not asking you this question. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. I didn't do a part-time job, but I think I'll go back to saying that even if you're doing a part-time job, don't ignore the importance of LinkedIn. And I think continue to say that because I never had an opportunity to um, go to a college and use the placement team of that college. But the only jobs that I have got from Canada, and I continue to receive offers, is only because of how I've been networking and trying to connect with people. So even though you are looking to study in Canada, do ensure that you continue to do that as a side uh, work. and not just focus on your part-time job. I think I'm just
And
losing my
also,
voice
guys,
today.
for part-time jobs, guys, like the jobs will postings, you won't find a lot of postings on LinkedIn. You'll have to go to Indeed or ZipRecruiter, or just print out a resume and just like give it to your prospective employers, and just like go to a college. Like for me, I had a website called GBC Careers, so every college has one portal. So you'll have to do those things as well.
And I think also another thing that is there is that a lot of places allow walk-ins. So if that's something that you'll always see these posters around which are open for walk-ins, especially restaurants or also businesses like Walmart, Canadian Tire, etc. So you can always try those places out.
Yeah, got it. Makes sense. I have a lot of very specific questions from the attendees, so I just want to reiterate that if you have specific questions about your profile, which colleges or which courses you're eligible for, it's best to sign up on Leap Scholar using the link so that we can give you personalized advice based on your profile. It probably won't be possible for the panelists to give you very specific personalized advice based on your resume. So I'm going to wrap up today's session with a very popular question that's come up, and I'm just going to say it as it is. It was asked by, sorry, just give me 1 second. Uh, yeah, it was asked by Pratham Bhavsar, who wants to know how has COVID affected the job scope and job opportunities in Canada? Is it advisable for Indian students to travel this year for pursuing their education? Whoever wants to take this one first.
I think when COVID started, there were quite a few layoffs. There were a lot of job opportunities which were lost. But as of now, the market is again picking up. It's a great time to actually get into the workforce and try and skill up, or just try and join a firm. Work your way through it. So I think this is a great time to actually come to Canada and really start your work or even your study before you really get into the workforce.
Got it. Sarthak, what do you think about COVID's effect on the job prospects for immigrants in Canada? And have you seen that? Has it caused issues for students in terms of finding part-time jobs or full-time jobs after graduation?
So this has a flip side. Like when COVID started, actually a lot of students were able to work full time, and they were able to find part-time jobs because a lot of people were not working. And also for sure, it has changed the dynamics of the workforce. Now a lot of people are doing remote work, work from home. So there's a lot of jobs that have popped up in that field. It is challenging, but like the market is reviving, and if you have the right skill set, then you can easily find something. Especially part-time, they can find easily.
Sense. We do a lot of these sessions from time to time for students, and one of the speakers who came mentioned that right at the start of the pandemic, a lot of people were laid off from part-time jobs as well because supermarkets shut down,
Right.
restaurants shut down, things
Yes.
like that. So, is that still the case in cities like Toronto right now?
Everything's coming back to normal. So restaurants have opened up, indoor dining has opened up. So things are getting back to normal. So I believe now it's getting better. But yes, that did happen as it happened with every other country and their economy. So we did suffer a lot, a bit. But I would say that there's the flip side, like Sarthak mentioned, that I got to work like 40 hours all like the entire last year until maybe September or October. I worked like 40 hours because they said that international students can work, like they did not set any limit for us. So that's something that really helped. But even though I worked at a restaurant and I was laid off as well, but then it's easier to find jobs. Part-time jobs are not very difficult to find, and once you get one, you just start working at one place, then you get understand the culture, and then you gel up better, and then it's easier for you to get even better jobs maybe.
That makes sense. What about you, Akanksha? How, like as we wrap up this session, do you have any sort of views on how COVID is playing out in Canada for immigrant workers?
I think the market is reviving. It's a great time to actually get into the workforce. COVID did affect quite a few jobs, and I know of people who were laid off, but they have been able to come back into the workforce with much better roles and opportunities. And I think for Canada, there's one very good thing that you can really change your stream of work without by just projecting your experience in that regard. So if, for example, you're in the advertising space and you want to move into something which is more HR or more conversational, in the sense that you get to interact with clients, you can do that by just projecting those skills and competencies. So I think that's one great thing about Canada's, that students can really look forward to.
Got it, got it. Great. Thank you so much for your time, guys. Thank you for joining us today and sharing your Canadian experience with our students. I'm sure they're really grateful for your time. And as you can see from the number of questions that came in, that a lot of them are very interested in knowing about studying in Canada. I just want to thank you all for taking out the time.
Thank you so
Thanks,
No
much.
thanks,
problem.
guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And thanks to the audience as well for joining us today. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. All the best.
Thank you. Bye.